You're now about to go deep with Dan Good.
Bernard, what's been happening, brother?
Oh man, I'm so glad just to be back. To be honest,
Yeah.
So I saw like you had one of your other guests come back, and I was like, I think what was it?
Nisa.
Anissa.
Yeah, she was on the first ever episode. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's brought her back, and I was like, I wonder if that'll happen. And then because I was like watching something like the previous like podcast, Julie, JR.
Yeah.
And I just started watching. Oh, the sound guy one, the last
Richard
one.
Lawson. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was like, I was trying to get back into it again. I was like, oh, sweet, this is nice. And I was like wondering because off cameras, all this sort of stuff, you've been like, hey, bro, when are we going to catch up?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, well, I know you said it a few times about catching up, and you know how it goes. Like, life's crazy busy, man. You barely get 5 minutes to yourself, never alone trying to do all the other creative endeavors and everything like that.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I was like, man, it's always a thing, eh? I'm just like, let's catch up on the podcast, and we'll catch up with it all, why not?
This will work out.
Yeah,
so,
that's right. Man, did you watch Squid Games? It's a big question on the lips.
I have been watching Squid Game.
Yeah.
I even watched in Korean, which is somewhat like, I think it's been really interesting because some people have like watched half and half. It's like, some of the translation is good, some of the translation is bad.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, I didn't mind either or. I thought it sounded weird when it was like the English the English dub.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'll just watch it. I could read. It's fine. I'm not blind, so
yeah.
I just watched. I probably for the first 3 episodes I watched in Korean, and then I watched the 4th one. I'd give it a try.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I didn't like it. So I just went straight back to the
Well, the dub over is just so monotone. And the thing is, the Koreans, they're so expressive with their acting.
Yeah.
It's so dramatic. Yeah. It's so over the top.
Yeah.
Which is like, you either like it or you don't, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm somewhere in the middle. But when you had that monotone going on, it's just like, this does not sync up. And I'll tell you, dude, I hate subtitles. I cannot stand watching anything with subtitles at all. And all my friends know it. I can't believe when they watch a movie sometimes, they just got subtitles playing for the hell of it down the bottom. I'm like, dude, can you not use your ears? Like, what's going on?
So I've only kind of like adopted it over the last maybe probably when I had my daughter, because it's like when she's sleeping, like you can kind of like watch. You don't
have it so loud.
Yeah. So it's like, you may as well watch with like the subtitles and all that sort of stuff. So it was like kind of fine. But yeah, so I've gotten used to the idea of it now. Like it doesn't affect me as much.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I mean, so I hate it. So I was a stickler. Everyone was going on about it. And the thing with me is when everybody's talking about a TV show, I go the complete opposite way. I cannot be bothered. Like, it's so overhyped. I don't want to hear about it. I'll watch it in my own time. Like I did that with Game of Thrones.
I did it with Game of Thrones as well.
I haven't even watched it. I've watched 2 episodes of that.
I watched the first season and then I just zoned out for some reason. Because I think at that time it was, what was really big back then? Because it took me, because the show spanned for 8 years or something.
Yeah.
I probably watched it a good couple of years ago. I was like, I got past the first season. I was like, okay, I don't know if I really want to watch it anymore.
Yeah, I'll get there maybe. I think I would be into it, but I was just like the whole incest thing and there's a lot to take in at the start. I'm like, man, what am I watching?
Like, gosh.
But I get it back in the day. That's how they kept bloodlines going, and it just is what it is.
Like the royalty.
yeah. But back to Squid Games, man. Yeah, so I started it first and I tried to watch it in Korean with the subtitles. It took me about 3 or 4 times to even get 20 minutes through.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I switched it to English.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. I can't do this dub over thing because that's where I can't even stand. I don't know how people watch things like that Money Heist, right?
Yeah.
That would be my kind of show. But I cannot stand the dub over on that. And I'm not going to read the subtitles for that whole thing. But I in the end, I switched it over. Before I finished the first episode, I switched it back to Korean with the subtitles. And I've got up to about 7 or 8. And so I'm quite a way through.
Yeah,
but it's just, what do you think?
I think
about that show, and what do you think is the attraction for everybody with that show?
Well, I think personally, firstly is it's just unique and it's different.
Yeah.
I think the way that the storytelling has been done has been really, really, really good. And what I mean by that is that it's so multi-layered in the storytelling.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is the characters all have like a certain journey.
Yeah.
I think in a way it's like a sort of bittersweet way where the storytelling is kind of tragic in a way, but it's still like beautiful because each character has their own level of layers, but its climax is it's like in an untimely kind of way. It's like, unfortunately, you're dying. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? When they kill everyone off.
The cinematography, I think, is just incredible.
Yeah.
Like the set designs were just
I agree.
incredible.
Yep, I completely agree with that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So hats off to the Koreans for that one. Like they're so talented. Like even with their like music videos, I don't know if like you've seen, if you're into K-pop sort of stuff, I've kind of like just seen the on-off.
Yeah, I've seen a few things, but and they talk about it on some of the podcasts that I'm into because it's Korean sound engineers like on there and producers. So yeah, they talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's incredible the way their sort of that level, their sort of vision kind of comes to life. It's incredible. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like you say, the cinematography is amazing and the set design.
Yeah.
Like and the way they tell the story of the characters and they build them up through like that first episode sort of and in the journey of what they're doing, and then they get kicked out of the first, spoiler alert, get kicked out of the first one and then come back. Yeah, if you haven't watched it now, but no, I'm normally that person, so I won't say that. It's pretty cool. But what I find interesting and what I believe why people actually are drawn to these things, other than, I mean, the whole expressive acting and the Korean thing, the over-the-top stuff, like it takes me out a little bit. Like I'm like, okay, get to the point because it's
kind of style.
It's so much of this and that. And
they're very, very sort of expressive and like if you've seen like sort of like other kinds of, I mean, the Chinese films are a little bit different in that kind of way. Like stuff like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that was a little bit more like dulled down, but like the cinematography was excellent and like the fighting like choreography was amazing and all that sort of stuff. So but I think there was a way that I think each of the characters, like especially the Ji-hoon, like the main guy, I think he was trying to find like a comedic element to his character. So the only way that he could do it was like do it big.
Within deep in depression.
And sort of like in the circumstances and all that sort of stuff. So I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, he's a great actor and there's a lot of good actors on it. It is very interesting to watch. I will say that, and it's like the storylines you get into, and the fact that it's shot so magnificently. But the shock horror of what goes on and everyone getting killed and things like that, I think it's a bit of a thing. But it's kind of like, I don't know. I know a bit about it, but I haven't obviously finished it, so I know it's kind of controlled by the elites, so to speak, with the VIPs that I'm assuming comes into it. But I haven't seen that part. I haven't seen that part yet. So
when you see the VIP episode, it'll be pretty, you'll see.
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm up to. But I think it's like that it's something similar, because I know people were comparing, it's like the Hunger Games and this and that. I don't really think it is, but it's kind of is in the fact that they're in a game and they're playing for survival, obviously, and money, which is not the case in Hunger Games and that. But I recently rewatched that whole 4 movies again.
Hey,
and it was awesome, man. It'd been long enough that I've forgotten sort of what happens, but not long enough, quite enough to forget all of it. But it's brilliant. It's like the first and second one is amazing. Yeah, like that's what I'll say. And the parts when they're actually in the Hunger Games, I feel are the best parts. But because it's just cool and you're not used to it. But it's like, what is the attraction of those movies? You know, it's kind of like there's oppression, you know, and there's been put your back up against the wall in situations where you just don't know what's going on, and there's a whole control over everything in every day way of life. And you know, you're poor and all the rest of it, and while there's others, the rich, you know, getting richer.
What I think it is, I think it's sort of a way where when these sorts of stories get told, it's kind of coming from someone's perspective of how they're trying to see life differently.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, I think as a creative, like if you're writing something like that, it's like you're trying to like flesh out something that you've experienced that you go, I don't want to be this kind of person, but if I can put it to a level of art and make it interesting and unique, and have some kind of like lesson behind it, like that would be like the ultimate sort of goal. And I think even in the most of all, all human beings, that there is a dark side to each and every one of us. Some of us always don't like it. I mean, I know I definitely have one that I'm not like the biggest fan of.
Yeah.
So, sometimes if you want to like release that in your own way, so whatever that is, if you're a creative, you want to do something about it, because it's the way of how you can find your level of release, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just like fleshing it out. And so I think even things like how I think about how Thanos did his sort of thing in like the Avengers, all that sort of stuff, where like he
still had a goal in mind. He thought it was doing it for the greater good and to save himself and everybody else, or the rest of the world, because they're just culling off the numbers
of the world or something.
Yeah. But I mean, that's why they say there's no real bad guys in movies, because they've all actually got their own hero's journey within their character.
Exactly.
But they're just ideologically not quite syncing up with the rest of the world. Because they're so in their own head, like a little bit cray-cray. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. And I think that's what, when people play, I mean, I haven't really played too many bad guys, or if at all, I think. And it's something that I want to do, but it is like, it's exploring a different kind of heroic evil, which would be kind of cool to play, I think.
Because like, I think as well, like you, regardless of like when you get to play those roles, there's like this embedded sort of truth where that person believes that they're doing good.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think like, what's another example? Did you ever see, there was like a Japanese lot of films, early 90s, I think, called Battle Royale?
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah. So I think that was probably the very first taste of what that kind of platform looked like.
Yeah, okay.
So before Hunger Games, before Squid Game, I remember like seeing it once where like they had like various ages of like kids or whatever and adults. And then like they got thrown onto an island and it was just like everyone for themselves.
Yeah.
And there were people who were like willing to like do that sort of, play that role, kill someone else for whatever it is. Yeah. Well, I mean, and that also brings up another thing where like the Purge movies, that series.
Yeah. Well, that's anarchy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a whole other level too. So,
but it's like, and like, because Hunger Games, I think it came out in 2011, the first one.
Yeah.
And they came out from there on after, and then there was like another thing I just recently read, Maze Runner. Things so these, and you've got like Purge and stuff like that, and it's like they've got some common factors in there, of like, the oppression thing, as I said before, control of like from the government or whatever that body is that is running everything, and like the heroic common cause, to find the cure in Maze Runner, and why they were doing such atrocities to kids, and to find that cure because they were like the chosen ones with it in there. The Hunger Games was like to keep everybody down, but really fair entertainment for the rich and the elite, things like that. And same with Squid Game. It's like they've all got that common sort of thing, and it's like, I don't know, kind of post-apocalyptic sort of times as well. Like in a way, it is. It's just like a new world, but it's like you can bring so many relatable topics from this world to that, and that's obviously 100%. Why it sells and why it appeals to people.
Well, I think like the journey of it as well in terms of for the writer, because like we both write. So like the story goes with him, like it was rejected for like almost over 10 years from like different studios and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Which one are you talking about?
Oh, Squid Game.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. So
really? Okay.
The guy who was working on it, worked on it for about 10 years. And in that process of that time, he was constantly rejected. And then now it's like, comes out, the biggest, like the hottest show on Netflix ever. People are saying it like it literally saved Netflix.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Though. I think they constantly have been running it at a deficit though, because they pay so much for so much content and they develop their own content. They're kind of like under that model of constantly doing it, but it's going to recuperate and
well, that's because they come in the positive. I think they always like the rule is like. I think Netflix themselves as a platform, they said they're not necessarily worried because they've always got people like investing.
Yeah, so, and you can see because people are signing up to it, like obviously there's money, it's just constly building it up. Exactly, but eventually they'll go into the green, rather than redlining all the time, but I guess raise their color. But it is interesting because I don't know if that guy shot it himself, like went out there and did the production himself and then sold it to Netflix or not. But from what I understand, as I was told, is it cost about $40 million to make. So I'm assuming he didn't do that himself. No. But he would have got funding, if he did. But it's worth like over like $400 million to Netflix apparently. Yeah. However they work that out, because obviously it's subscription based, but the amount of people that are watching it and whatever the way they sort out their algorithms and everything, which I do not know, and algorithms is a thing. Oh, I mean, even with like YouTube itself is like is an algorithm as well. So algorithm. YouTube's algorithm is it's very hard to work out. You listened to the one with me and Andy on, did you? When we spoke about YouTube at length. I actually really, really liked that one. Yeah, that was a fun podcast. That was good with because, I think for me, like, I think I tried to hint to you that I've jumped on the platform. Yeah. So jumped on YouTube. YouTube. Yeah, I had a look at a few of your videos this morning. I saw you were doing, I watched the ones of practice patients because I was wondering where you were at with that and sort of what you were doing. But I saw you had quite a few videos up there with your daughter. Yeah, like Daddy, Daughter Tuesday. Yeah, and that's stuff my little segment. That's my little segment, man. That's cool. Yeah. It was really interesting. And I was like, I thought like, I wasn't too sure if I was ever going to do a YouTube thing as a creative. And then, coming into last year with the whole pandemic thing and being set back so much. Whereas, I mean, like you and like doing your thing, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. This would be like kind of nice to just be sort of like as a independent creative doing all that sort of stuff. And I was like, oh, if he's doing it, I see why I can't try. And that's like, and like, see, I love that it had that effect on you. And then like, it's like Andy's been doing it for a hot minute. I've only just been like really checking his stuff out because since my parents retired probably a couple of years ago, they're just like, they've got a smart TV. So even though they've got like Netflix and like all of our other like family subscriptions. They watch a lot of YouTube, and my dad watches like a lot of like fishing content. Yeah, okay. And like, when the pandemic hit, like everyone was just like, oh, we're inside, may as well just like watch YouTube. Yeah. And it got to a point where he's like, son, you should like start YouTube. And I was like, when, Dad? When do I have time? When do I have time? Yeah. But then like, he's like, oh, you should get your cousin, you guys should like try and figure something out because my cousin, he's a photographer and all that sort of stuff, but he has some like kind of experience with like film and all that sort of stuff. So I was like, oh yeah. And then it was just like, because like I dropped my daughter to go visit them on Mondays and stuff like that. He's like, he just kind of kept on reinforcing, oh, just give it a try. So coming into the new year, I was like, oh, I'll think about it. Yeah. And then I think, when I started in March and then around May was when I was like, oh, hey, I got this YouTube channel to my parents. Yeah. So they went back and watched all my videos, subscribed and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. I think, I've really, really enjoyed it. And I think coming into this year, like regardless, even though like the pandemic and sort of stuff was like still happening,
being able to try and get like a whole bunch of people together to like try and film something to kind of make something happen. I was like, it was hard. So, everyone's either like can't leave home and you can't really work and all that sort of stuff. So I was like, well, I'm going to be accountable for stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
If I can't be creative with a team, I'll be creative on my own and I'm going to like do this and I'm going to just see what happens. So yeah. Now like I do that. So I'm like my shift work and all that sort of stuff. Like I have videos that happen on Monday and Tuesdays. So it's been really interesting because even though I'm about, like, I don't know how like you've been taking on like YouTube, but I've kind of been like really taking it really seriously. So if I'm not like thinking up like content ideas, it's like, what can I do to make YouTube more, like, how can I make my YouTube videos better and stuff?
Yeah.
So that's how I've kind of been like figuring like YouTube out for like this longest time.
Yeah.
And it's been fun, to be honest.
That's the main thing, man, is that you're having fun doing it and you're putting out content, and it's about staying consistent with that content. And I know that's hard too, but staying even consistent with these podcasts.
Well, like I was gonna really, really try, and like there were days where like I got like really, really desperate.
Yeah.
For like content ideas. So like some of like my videos, I mean, I guess in terms, for the most part, they're like consistent. So I had this thing where like I knew Tuesday's segment was always going to be with my daughter because that's sort of like my day off with her. And like that's easy enough to like shoot and like do in a day and edit in a day.
Yeah.
I think learning how to edit's been really, really interesting. But then like everything else was like either had to be really, really quite structured, whether it was, I had like sort of like a structure where it was like a nursing like type of content kind of video on one Monday, and then it'd be like a food review thing, a car review thing, which is slacking off a little bit, or like something like acting related.
Yeah.
And then that would kind of be like the month's kind of like workflow. So it was just like, I get like nervous. I was like, oh man, what should I do like next in terms of video ideas? But it's been really, really, I've really, really enjoyed it, to be honest. And I'm going to keep going with it. I plan to find ways to kind of really expand myself on the platform. So yeah, it's been really, really fun. Like, how have you found doing YouTube?
Look, man, I'm no expert on the matter, that's for sure. It's fun. Like, I'm not really doing YouTube. I'm doing podcasts, if you know what I mean. Releasing them on YouTube and all the audio platforms and stuff. So I can't really say it, but I guess I am a YouTuber because I'm constantly putting consistent content out, but it's not consistently as much as I'd like. And that would be the thing. That would be my little knock on myself, is that it's not as much as what I want to, but it's as much as I can get done at the moment until I get my studio set up, which I was talking about before. And which was going to be sooner rather than later. But now that I'm looking at buying a place and then setting up the studio within that, making moves. That's it. So, it may not happen quite as quick as what I am. But then again, it could happen in a week. It just doesn't matter with the property market at the moment. You got to jump on things. So it'll be cool if it does. But in the meantime, you just got to keep doing the damn thing. So, and it's I love it, man. I love it, but it's hard because of that wanting to stay consistent with the content and wanting to put it out, and the anxiety that comes with honestly getting podcast guests all the time, and it's not easy, man. It's honestly not, and it's what anyone will say, whether they're successful or not with podcasting, is that it's a motherfucker to get people on the episodes, to link up schedules with everybody on the right days. You can shoot with your own. When we had Chris helping out, other camera guys and stuff like that, linking that up. It's just all those things that got to fit into place, within all everybody's lives, and then get the content out, and it's hard when you're dealing with entertainers or people in the entertainment game, musician, actors, filmmakers, fighters, whatever it is. they've got busy schedules, man, as well. So it's like you're the busiest of busy schedules. So it's so hard to wrangle and get it done. But that's what you got to do, you know. So that's really the only harder part of it. Putting the content out, it's not, you know, I've sacrificed time, you know. It probably honestly, like between like doing a podcast, right, an episode would consist of probably about, I would say 7 to 8 hours at least, right? And that's set up, taking everything down, right? Doing the podcast, editing, getting the files away, and doing the synopsis and everything for the episode, the outro, getting those files away to the sound engineer, getting it back from him, re-listening to the whole podcast, listen to yourself.
You've been busy.
Dude. And then you got to because I want it to be good and make sure, because I can't trust he's great at what he does, but I need to know that it's perfect before, because there's been like places missing before, and it's just whatever's happened in the edit when he's been running the mix on it, but and just making sure that's right, and then getting it up, and then doing like the thumbnails and the write-ups for every episode, and then uploading it and put it, you know, it's a thing, man. 8 to 10 hours in editing, syncing up all the audio with the video, and then getting it out, you know. It's a thing, man. It's a slog.
It's true. Like I'm not gonna lie, like even because like even now for like me as well, like regardless of like whatever piece of like content that I really want to like upload or whatever, it does take it's a certain amount of work, but like, you know, at least you got guys, so which is good.
Well, I mean, look, I'll be like honest, you know, like I had Chris helping with the camera work for a few episodes, but you know, that always hasn't linked up, and he hurt himself and all of the above, and so, you know, you got to wing it and do it yourself. But the sound engineer I pay, I do it through Fiverr, on the app Fiverr, and it's brilliant, bro. It's a great one if you ever need anyone for anything, logo design, all this sort of thing. So
you're right.
So that's been good. I mean, I had to outsource that, but that's because I wanted the good quality audio. You know, it's probably at like, other than being in a soundproof studio, it's probably at like 95%. You know, almost. That's great. And I know even a lot of really popular podcasts, some of them, the audio is at like 80% if you're lucky, and like it's not fantastic. But I've like listened to some pretty random like podcasts where like I was like, oh, that like audio does not sound great. Yeah. But I do is aspire to start a podcast. Yeah, man, you should, bro. I encourage you to do it, eh? And like I said, but you're well aware now, I've just told you what sort of time it takes for me to do it. But that's honestly broken down to sort of about that. And then, you know, and then the tough thing, you got to get, like, I would consistently getting them out like on a month, and I apologize because I have missed, like, I'm probably on 2 occasions, maybe like a week either side, you know, and had to push it back just because
once a month, guys. Just know that.
Keep me on it.
When a new episode drops for Dan's podcast, it's every month. And it'll happen within every month. It doesn't matter when it's going to happen in the month.
Nah, I try and keep consistent with it, like on the sort of the exact week and time that, and it will be back to that. It's just, it was hard to juggle.
Do you get to keep your own footage? Like, I guess, or do you?
It's all my own footage, man. It's all through YIN YANG ENT, which is my production company. You know,
nice.
So
nice little tax deductible right there.
Yeah. It is. It's better when you're actually making money, because then you can deduct it off something.
You can't claim it.
You can claim it to a set. Well, you know, I couldn't claim it against like my own normal job. But when I get paid from acting, then it kind of falls into that scenario.
Sure.
I got to go see my account agent actually next week to do my tax. So don't listen to this yet.
No, because like I did. I mean, I've had an ABN for a bit of a while.
Yeah, me too.
And it was more so I was like, oh, well, I could just claim this on part of my business, because I was like, you know, whether you recognize it or not, like YouTube itself is a business.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, if you've got an income coming in, then you have something to claim it off, because you need to be paying tax on that income that going in, and then you can claim it back off that. Yeah. But so that, you know, you got to have something coming in decently for it to really work out.
Something coming in.
Yeah.
Or you just keep saving it. No, because I was able to claim my editing program. So I don't know what you use.
Yeah.
I use this program called Filmora, because it's really, really basic.
I've heard of that one, but I've never used it.
And it's got some really it has like a lot of like templates and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of stuff that you can like really work with. Has a lot of like free music as well on the platform. So if anyone wants to start a YouTube channel, Fillmore is pretty good for basics. Well, you don't get too technical.
For editing, I mean, I'm recording it through GarageBand and everything, which is on my Mac anyway. And just, I could get Audacity and a few other programs stuff, but it's on there. It works fine. I've used it now. I've got it down to a fine art. Dude, so that's like, great. I love the fact that you're using your smartphone to record. And I love that. I've changed in between things. Well, the funny thing is, with iPhones and stuff, well, good Samsungs and stuff as well. The fucking great quality image.
100%. 4K?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can do 4K. I only do like 1080, 30 frames on this. I've done 60 before, but it's just, it's like a YouTube standard basically to have 1080, and that works, and it's easy to upload because that can take a long time as well with uploading the files and
the
stuff.
Rendering can be like,
And so, it works for me for this, but it's not I mean, obviously I like it when it's the multicam setup and we've got like close-ups and stuff like that as well. Like sure. I really like that. And that's when Chris was on. It was great. Like he was shooting them in 4K as well and chopping them down. And it was amazing what he was doing.
Chris does amazing work. Yeah. Chris, if you're watching, you do great work.
Props to your brother. And heal up and, get back into it, man.
We miss you and we need you.
We do. But when he, we had two guests at one point and he had that in the same single shot, but he was able to cut that frame and use it as two different shots as well, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
Look, every camera guy will be like, come on, guys, what are you doing? That's amateur. But it's amazing to us actors, okay? And so like that's the thing. I've been looking at the multicam setup and I have been looking at it for a while. I just need to pull the trigger on it, but I just wanted to get the right thing because I wanted to shoot some other content and skits and other things like that. So I didn't want to rush in and get it. And it's like you kind of got a couple of options really there, and obviously price brackets and stuff like that.
I like your lights too, brother.
Oh, cheers, bro. Yeah, the softbox work, but I think LED would be better because I can turn them down a bit more, and hot and cold and things like that. And but they work great, like for what they are.
Where'd you get those ones?
Dude, eBay.
Dude,
like everything else. Something like eBay. Oh man, they're not that dear. To be honest, I have been looking at getting LEDs, so man, these ones might be free there for a little bit. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But they're cheap anyway, man. Honestly, but just LEDs because they're more compact. Like those with the softbox lights. You have to set up and like stash them somewhere. So if you don't have the room, it's a bit of a nightmare. But you make it work, and they work fine, man. I use them for my self-tape auditions and stuff like that, and everything. So that works all good.
Because I mean, I for me as well, like, for most of my like talking head sort of stuff, I'll use like a DSLR. So I've got like a Canon 200D, and I've got I've got a wireless mic and like a Rode Micro.
Yeah.
So that's
a Rode mic hooked into the phone. Yeah.
So
it's just because it picks it up to sync it up a lot better. I mean, these are Rode Pod mics as well. They're great. Oh, Rode makes some quality products.
They do.
Yeah.
Well, what's Jesse's quote? Hey, he
had a good
Rode,
one.
Hey, Rode, if you're listening, sponsor us.
Yeah. I want to get the they got the Rodecaster Pro and stuff like that, the mixers. So that's what I'll get. I'm going to get that eventually, and I'm hoping I can use that to get the audio and mix it myself like live and make sure it's right. And then I don't have to do much in post, and maybe I don't need the sound engineer anymore. But then again, he does such a great job with it and what he does, and when he runs the program and reduces a bit of echo and things like that or what have you. And, just he gets it to a good level. So, production quality and everything. So I like using them,
nice.
And it's great to support like independent artists.
I haven't tried Fiverr yet.
Man, it's terrific. Like my logo, I got designed on there. I revamped and got my Yin Yang ENT logo done on that as well. You can find some people. I will say it's hard sometimes because a lot of them in foreign countries and the language barrier there is a little iffy, man. And you'd be surprised that when you draw diagrams and pictures, it's a lot easier. I circle this change and that to that, and even then it still gets messed up. It's a bit of a nightmare because you get only so many revisions, or unless you pay to get unlimited revisions. But it's a great service, man. And if you want to sponsor, guys, I can read for you.
Fiverr. If you like this content, hit the like button for Dan.
Brother up. Yeah. But no, so it's great though, man. Like it is great. And I noticed they have actually started sponsoring a lot of the podcasts that I listen to. So
that's so good.
But with that multicam setup, it's like, because you got to do the research of like runtime on these. I'm going hour and a half, 2 hours, all the time. So with a DSLR, they have like that 29-minute record limit. And there is ways around. I know you can backdoor the system and get like them recording into pick up like memory cards and stuff like that, or you can get dummy battery, because the battery life is another thing. You can get dummy batteries that go into power. So I know sort of ways around from talking to a few people and doing some research myself, but it's and they have good, they sort out good quality footage. And as I say, like for skits and things like that, you want some good ones. So the other one that I looked up and I almost pulled the trigger on buying 2 of them was Canon M50s. Basically DSLR, but in a digital camera format, mirrorless camera. Yeah. But they're like, they're really high rated to be one of the better like YouTubing, vlogging ones and stuff like that. And I know people use them for podcasts, but they have the 29-minute recording limit as well. Yeah. There was a real good deal on. They had wide angle lens and stuff like that. So I was going to pick up a couple of those. But they don't set that. There's really hard. There's only like one way that I think, like, you can backdoor a lot of the system to get it to run past that. But those ones, sort of for whatever reason, they'll put something in it. And it's like you can only do it if it's recording live to like your laptop or your Mac. Yeah, but then at the moment I'm using that to run the interface with all the audio and everything. So it just doesn't really work, and I don't really like it like that. But then I looked up a lot of like Rogan's podcasts and a lot of the other ones I listen to. They all use like either broadcasting cameras or like camcorders, bro. Mm-hmm. Just higher end camcorders. So you can get higher end and lower end camcorders that for fairly cheap. I don't want a real cheap one. I want a decent one. And when I was investing, the reason why I haven't exactly just gone and got it, I can get 1080 ones, easy. And there's variations of that, obviously, as well, with autofocus and different megapixels and everything that they're running, and the ability to run mics on them too, and all the rest of it. You got to look into it all. Yeah. But they also, because I know eventually that 4K is going to be the standard definition for YouTube soon in the coming years. I just don't know when that's going to be. I wish someone could sort of roughly tell me, but I know it's going to be in the next few years, because there's 4K, 8K, 12K now that you can get. So it's just
like, even like my S21 Ultra like shoots 8K, and I'm like, what?
I know, it's crazy, man. That's why the crispness and the quality of the picture that actually comes from an iPhone or a Samsung or whatever is just so good anyway. Like you can't actually match that up. Like when I was talking to people, like, GoPros are sort of something similar, because the way, I don't know, because they're really high megapixel, but I don't know, whatever the way they feed in the data with the colors and everything, it's just really hard to get that in a camera, as an alternative. So it's quite amazing what you've got in your pocket there. Yeah. I mean, I know some of the higher end podcasts too actually shoot on iPhone, but they have multiple ones. They just go out and buy iPhones and do it because it's to film. And it is pretty easy to use, man. It's like, as I say, I got that little Rode lightning cable, whatever you want to call it, Rode, but it plugs into there, and it's great. It works well. Like that's why I shoot all my auditions on that. It's just easy to do with it. Yeah. But one thing that I was talking to, I went to brunch the other day with mate of mine, and his girlfriend is she's an actress as well with the same agency as me, but she went and just got the iPhone 13 because it's got that cinematic mode, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't see it. And now I'm seeing the ads everywhere on TV, and I was like, you know what, that's kind of a game changer. Those motherfuckers kept it out of the 12 and put it in the 13. It's probably the only thing different between the phones, but it's like still a price point why you want to upgrade, and I'm like, god damn it, man.
Like my cousin, he's for the longest time, he figured it out really well in terms of like Apple products. So every year that he could get the latest upgrade, because like if he needed, like once the new iPhone came out, for whatever contract, like he got his mum an iPhone as well, but like I think she started earlier and then he started later. Yeah. So whatever contract would finish first would be like, oh, okay, looks like it's now new iPhone time. So he's just like constantly rotated.
Yeah, okay.
So, but have you I don't know, have you seen a lot of the reviews for the iPhone 13 and the cinematic?
No, I haven't. Dude. With the cinematic mode, you mean? Or
yeah, it's insane.
What they're saying is great.
Oh, like the fact that it's just all like software in terms of like the phone embedded like in the phone.
Yeah.
it's like a whole other level.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like so impressive. I saw there's a guy who I watch on YouTube, Peter Mckinnon. He mostly does like a lot of like photography sort of stuff, but he also does a lot of like film sort of stuff as well. And he usually, in terms of like that sort of niche, like camera sort of stuff, he kind of gets a lot of first dibs. And when the new iPhone 13 came out, I was just like, this is insane. Like, I wonder if I should just give up my Samsung and get like the new iPhone 13. They almost
converted you. What are you? Have you been Samsung all the time?
I've been Samsung for long this time, man. I don't know why. I thought the whole one button thing with the iPhone looked weird to me at the time, and like the level. I think people like iPhones because it's so simple to use, and like there's like it's all there sort of thing. Whereas like with with like Samsung phones or Android phones, there's like a whole bunch of like sort of like interfaces you kind of have to kind of go through and all that. Dude,
it's the aesthetics, man, and with the iPhone. The iPhone's great. Like, I mean, and I've got so many Apple products. It's just, you got to go back now, and that's where they get you. But it's just it's aesthetic. Like I've picked up the Samsung, and it's no knock or whatever. It's just like I've picked up the Samsung and had a look at the Android system. It just looks fucking archaic. Like, it doesn't look nice. It doesn't feel nice. I don't like to use it. No, I mean, I haven't had it for I've had a digital camera that was like under the Android system. That's basically the only thing I remember really having, other than probably my smart TV,
Yeah.
But it's I just like the aesthetics of it, and the connectivity, and just everything that the operating system, and it's just I like it.
It does look like, I'm not gonna lie,
it's like attractive.
I guess in terms of for like Samsung and all that sort of stuff, I've found over the years that it does look messy. I was like, oh man, but like in terms of like, I guess, screen appearance and all that sort of stuff, like I've had my S20 Ultra now for like over a year, I think, but like I've put it through the works there. It doesn't look great anymore, but like it still works really well.
Well, they have great cameras. I know that much because I've seen one of my mate had like the brand new Samsung, and I looked at it, I'm like, whoa, shit, man.
Yeah,
this is great.
Well, like they've got that. They did that. I guess it's kind of gimmicky in the sense, like
the moon one.
The 108 times. The 108 times. It's
like optical zoom.
Optical zooms, whatever it was. And I tried the idea of it. When there was like a time earlier this year where like there's like one of the really, really big moons that came out, and like it looked probably not too bad.
The blood supermoon.
Yeah, I think so. And like to be honest, like I was able to capture it. Like I had like a lot of shake. I'm like, I think I'm going to need a tripod for this.
Well, it's because when it's zoomed in so far, man, any like minuscule movement you make with the phone is going to just show up.
Yeah.
So you do need it on a tripod or some steady hand. Yeah. Get the jitters going.
But so like, I mean, other than that, like the fact that like the cameras now in phones that you can like shoot 1080 or 4K is like incredible.
It is, yeah.
And you just go, well, I think like, I guess even in like in terms of like YouTube and stuff like that, like when you decide you want to like upgrade a little bit more and a little bit more as well. But like, how much YouTube do you watch? Do you tend to watch a lot? Or?
Dude, this is a funny thing, and it's a conversation that I'm having a lot with people lately. I don't watch any YouTube really. The only time I watch YouTube is if I'm trying to fix something, or I'm trying to buy something for like reviews and just looking for research, or fix something like, maybe on my car that I don't know. So the amount of things I've used YouTube videos to like go over with my Beamer and like fix things. Like I've fixed heaps of stuff on my car. Like I know what I'm doing anyway, but like it's just, some models are different to a lot. So there's so many helpful videos on European cars and stuff like that you don't really get told, or like you learn, you have to learn for yourself. So it's been fantastic for that. If I'm watching like a music video or something, I used to watch Rogan when he was on there, but now it's all on Spotify. And that, so that's all good.
I think he still does the Joe Rogan, the JE clips. So I think he still puts like
clips for, I mean, but I watch and listen to every single episode, so I know it anyway, so I'm not just looking at the clips. But I know for people that is definitely what they do, and that's how you get a lot of people in. And that's the thing with YouTube, is that's where I know an avenue that I need to go down with more clips. Like I used to get a few out, or one episode or whatever of little segments, but and that's why I want to probably bring someone on, and I'm going to probably advertise for that soon. Just like I don't want heaps of people. I just want like one person that can do it, that can help me with the editing. Maybe like I can edit them, but I'd love for them to go through and get the clips out, and stuff, because more clips and more content is better, and it's going to attract more people to the podcast and attract more people to the guests that I have on and things like that, and show them what it's about. It's just, like I said, a matter of with the time and everything within those hours that I just spoke to you about that I spend already. It's a lot more going through them. But like when I listen to the audio, I jot down notes of like the interesting parts of the conversation or whatever I think's funny or whatever comes up. I'll jot those down so I know roughly where the clips are, but it's another thing going back and cutting them all out too. But that's something that I know that you need to do more of to attract listeners and views.
Well, like
and stuff.
it's one of those things where like, because do you know that? I've been doing this a lot lately. Because like I've like literally this whole year I've been like YouTube obsessed. And like,
sorry, movie trailers. That's the other thing.
Oh,
that's where I watch it, but that's it, dude. And sorry, just before you go on that point, that's the conversation that I've had with a lot of my friends. They have like the subscription to YouTube, where you don't get ads and all that. And I'm just like, which is great probably, but I'm finding more and more that I'm like the anomaly, and everyone else watches YouTube a lot. And I don't, man. I watch movies, bro. I watch so many films. It's like I'm a connoisseur in the art. Like I've watched a lot of things, almost everything in the last like fucking 10 years plus.
Nice.
And TV series, that I'm on, like, and that's my thing. But like, they consume a lot of channels and stuff, because it fascinates me to pick people's brain on that, because I just don't do it. But I think a lot of people do, obviously, and I hope a lot of people do, because that's where I'm putting content on. So I want them to watch it. But sorry, keep going with what you're saying.
What was I saying about YouTube? I was just being like, it's like YouTube obsessed, basically. So, trying to like find ways to, because it's one of those things, like I think even maybe when you and Andy were talking about it, it was all about like sort of like the hook points and all that sort of stuff, or talking about like SEO and all that sort of stuff, where like when you kind of really see like YouTube like as a platform, it's a place where like it is, let's say it is the second biggest search engine in the world, after Google.
After Google, yeah.
Yeah. And like there are about 2.3 billion users a month.
Yeah,
active
it's
users.
Crazy, man.
Like, I mean, it's not exactly Amazon, but it's still a lot of people. And you can still, within that 2.3 billion users, you can definitely find your audience and stuff. So I'm optimistic for finding mine.
Well, that's how it hit. That's how his one took off. Like he was doing a lot of videos for probably 4 or 5 years, I think he was saying. And I think it was during like the early stages of the pandemic when his hit. And it must have just been because it showed up in a certain search and everyone kept clicking on it, and then it was getting recommended that like 1 or 2 clips blew up and went viral, per se, that then it attracted everyone else to subscribe and go onto his channel. And, and that's all what it takes, but it's really hard to get to that algorithm and hit that algorithm. But that's what really helped him to boost his in a nutshell, basically, which is fantastic.
Props to him. Like, being able to have, I think he's got over 30,000 subscribers.
That would probably be about right. I can't remember when I last
Andy,
checked.
Right? Yeah. I think he's got like over like 30,000.
Coastfish TV is what we're saying. Episode 15, if I'm not wrong, of the podcast he was on. Fantastic episode.
Go subscribe to Coastfish TV.
Yeah.
If you like fishing
and go on Deep with Dan Good if you haven't already.
And then go subscribe to Dan Good as well. And subscribe to Bernard Mina if you want to see more content from me too.
We just played into the masses right now.
Smash the like button so this, content can be reached to more people just like you.
Like and subscribe. Comment if necessary.
Well, I used I knew you said you used Fiverr for your stuff. I used this thing called Creator Set, and you can kind of like, it helps you like, it's like tailored to your sort of thing. Like you can have like your face and like it comes up with all your different like pop-ups and all that sort of stuff. But like, I mean, that's if you want to like chuck that sort of like stuff on there. But I was like thinking, because I was going back over through like your stuff as well, and I saw that like with your stuff, you had like the smaller clips as well. And I think like, now I'm no expert, but I think if you wanted to put more content out, if you just found like certain really good parts in terms of like the people that you've interviewed in the industry, if you found like a question that you felt that you could have asked where your guest answered it, and then put that as sort of as a topic as part of your podcast, like you would definitely have like more content out and all that sort of stuff. I know it's like a lot of like bit of work to do, whereas I kind of just started to slowly adopt this idea of repurposing like content that I've had. So I've been working on a short film, like a smartphone like short film for a little bit, and I didn't want to just be like, oh, like this is my, oh, cool, thanks, man. I didn't want to just say, oh, this is like a thing that I'm doing, but I like repurposed it in a way that it would hope to try and get more views. And then I did the same thing with my Practice Patience trailer because to kind of link in with the idea that, you know, if people do watch the channel, it's like, oh, I talk about stuff about being a father, actor, and a nurse. And I was like, that was kind of a way, and I like retitled it in a way that, okay, so like in terms of just not only being a nurse, but he's also like doing this other, like doing the whole other acting side of things. And then I released the trailer on my personal page.
No, I saw that. I watched it because that's why I was curious what you
and
put on that.
I just repurposed it. So.
No, and I watched it again. I don't know if it was a bit different or not. Did you cut it slightly different?
No,
it was exactly the same. Okay, no, I thought because I had seen it before.
I had intended to. I actually wanted to see if I could do like another trailer coming into like episode 2, which is. It's still in the works, guys. I'm working on it. It's coming. It's taking a little bit longer than I thought. But it is coming. But in saying so, just trying to give, because I think like when you have a channel, like you have to find out what your message is, sort of thing. And if you kind of think about it that way, and then trying to find ways to like work on your titles and like your thumbnails so that it all kind of resonates with the message that you're trying to deliver to whoever, like, you know, whoever.
No, I understand what you're saying. Like. Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, with this podcast is I'm getting people on that are passionate about what they're following, you know, their journey in life and talking about that. It's, you know, it's harder with like a long form because I know like podcasts, some people do like 20, 30-minute ones, you know, but I just don't really feel like you get anywhere with those shorter ones. But I know people's attention span and what they're watching too is a lot shorter than that. And you need to get them in real quick. Like, and it's a hard thing, and that's where the clips obviously come into play of getting the better portions of like, or the more entertaining portions of the podcast and putting those out to attract more people in. And it's 100% right. Like, you know, I'll own that and I'll say it every day of the week that I know I need to put more clips out of this to get more people in. You know, it's something. Yeah, I'm doing it, man. I'm putting it. It's in place. We've got a lot going on, but I've definitely made a lot of plans recently, and I'm actually, you know, taking a lot of things off that I need to be doing to get this to a better place. And including in that, like I spoke about it a little while ago about plans and where I see this going and stuff. And like I've been looking at a lot of business management, like entrepreneurship, business management, online courses, and social media and marketing courses. So there's some short ones on there. That's what I'm going to do, and that's where I'm going to learn better tools to get this shit happening, man. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing right now. You know, I've had a few things because I've had a lot of meetings lately about buying a house and things like this and going on and a lot of auditions, which is fantastic, and I'm not complaining about that. But they all take time and all the stuff. It. But, you know, you just got to, it's a way of structuring it around your everyday life, man, to achieve the things you want to achieve. But yeah, I mean, you were talking about, so episode 2, like, have you written it or?
Oh, no, like it's definitely been written.
Yeah.
So I'll share here. I think I don't know, you probably missed it because you've been so busy. So this year, we were scheduled to shoot in May.
Yeah.
And then like everyone's like schedules didn't match up, and it was just unfortunate.
Yeah. And
then my main supporting co-star decided to take her life, basically.
Oh shit.
So that's kind of been like a really massive hit for us as a production. But we're like slowly working towards figuring things out. Everyone else still wants to stay on board, which is really, really good. And we're just finding our new main supporting cast members. So, yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's tough. Sorry to hear about that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know, but when I watched that trailer again before, it said, you know, in memory of, or something regarding that. And I did wonder whether there was something to that. Obviously now I know, but yeah, man, that's devastating, and that's hard to it's something in life, you know, that it's a struggle to deal with, man. There's unfortunately a lot of, you know, whatever it is, you know, mental illness or health or whatever things that happen in that regard. It's a tough thing, man. It's part of life. But yeah, and what did that spur? Like, I know you did another short sort of recently, which was part of like a lot of like, what was it, opioids or things? I knew there was themes of that sort of thing in it.
So it kind of was sort of like as a memento or as something symbolic in relation to that. Just because I think it was weird. Like, it's kind of hard to realize that like they're kind of gone.
Yeah.
And like, unfortunately, I was able to know the real story. I mean, I think I was fortunate to be able to know the real story. But I'm a little bit choked up. Give me a sec, man.
Yeah, no, it's okay, man.
But I wanted to make sure that like it was for the sake of like honoring them. I didn't want to like, I didn't want to do it in a way that it was like glamorizing like that kind of topic in any kind of way. But I wanted to find a level of truth in their story. So rather than say specifically, I'd rather just say them.
Yeah.
But just to kind of keep it more private, I guess, still.
Yeah.
Because it's still something that still resonates with me. Just because this person and I, we like shared like similar interests. We were both nurses. We were both actors. And I was just like, I had no idea what they were kind of going through.
Yeah.
So, and like that was like hard for me to realize when like the truth, when I got told what had happened. Yeah. So, but you know, I just wanted to be honest, and I said like, I'm like, they're not going to be, well, I'm never going to forget them. And they're always going to be a massive part in, I guess, how I function creatively, just because I've always been inspired by them.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about that.
Yeah, no, it's okay, man. We don't need to go too far down that territory, but thanks for sharing, man. And
no, it's all good.
Yeah, much love and support to you and the family and everything.
Look, man.
In regards to that, I mean, I had no idea, but now it sort of makes sense after what
And I think coming into this year as well and kind of trying to discover myself creatively, when you realize like certain things like this happen, you just go, man, like life's pretty short and it's pretty unpredictable. And it kind of makes you reassess
what's important to you.
What's important to you. Yeah. And you kind of wish you could do a lot more for like others as well.
Yeah.
So slowly starting to do that now too, which is kind of nice. And I think that's why I'm glad to be doing it here with you today.
Yeah. No, it's it, man. And it's because you never know the struggles that people are going through, man. Like you can be the most, lovable, fun person, but you have no idea the demons you're fighting within, man. And we all have them.
Yeah.
We definitely all go through it, and we all have stuff like that in moments and tough times. And it's definitely where friends, come into the party and you can tell when people are a little off, and it's just like, I know it's like a slogan, "Are you okay?" But it's just like, because you can tell when and I hate getting asked that, to be honest. Like, you're right, like whatever, I'm a real open guy, I'm a definite oversharer. I tell people everything that's going on.
Wait. Because you're a March Pisces, eh?
Yeah, Pisces. Yeah.
See, I'm February Pisces.
Oh, shit. Yeah. That's what I'm
getting that vibe.
Yeah, man. It's wear your heart on your sleeve, a lot of times, and that can really, come to be detrimental to you as well. But it's all finding that balance, and it's about growing and learning with this stuff. But yeah, it's just like, because you just have no idea, man, like the struggles that everyone's going through and what's happening. And life's tough, man. It's a hurdles that you're constantly jumping and falling over, but picking yourself back up and just keep on going is just the best thing you can kind of do. And you got to think about those around you, and the people that, love and care about you.
Cherish the times that you got with the people that you have.
Life's short, man. And I know what you're saying. Like, it's like the older you get, the more you realize that, like as you're a kid, like it's just passing you by every moment. You're like, next thing, let's go. Like,
exactly.
But it's just, it's tough when you lose sight, and it's when things start to slow down. It's funny because things are picking up, but it's slowing down at the same time, and you're like in this whirlwind of it all, and it's like being in the hot eye of a hurricane. And it's like the closer you get to the inside, the more you're looking out. But while you're in it, it's just chaos.
It's just it's like it's bittersweet in a way, but I think like I always think of now as like the moments. And I take those moments as they are, and if it's a good one, great, I'm gonna enjoy it. If it's not,
write it out for the best you can.
Write it out as best as you can, because in some way, shape, or form, there's like a silver lining that is there, and it's there for a lesson that you need to learn for you. And I think was it in Kevin Hart's book, I read a lot of audio. I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
I read a lot of audiobooks. I did the same thing, man.
In his first book, I can't make this up. He's like, the world has problems, but you've got your own problems, but those problems are designed specifically for you, and only you can find your way out of it, sort of thing. And I really, really, really think that. And even like in the hardest times of like this year as well, like going through that level of like loss, I was like, man, how do I like figure this out, sort of thing. And, the people that I've got around me, we've been figuring it out. So I've been first here, you're going to see this, guys, is that we have found a new Stephanie Jacobs for Practice Patience episode 2. And she's really, really like this actor that we were able to find. She's incredible. She's so amazing. And she does really, really well. So like me, myself, and the team, we're all myself. The team and I are really, really happy that she's on board. So that will come out very, very soon. That introduction.
So you didn't think to just sort of like write the character out, or just like start with a different character using the same names and everything? Or?
I thought about that a lot, and I was looking at like my 3 seasons worth of content.
Yeah, okay.
And I thought it could work, but I think I trusted myself to know that if we did find a new character or person to play the character, that it was going to work.
Okay.
And I've kind of pretty much had to believe in that process.
Yeah.
Because it's so pinnacle and so important to the main protagonist. So I thought about that a lot, and especially like for episode 2 and like everything else going forward, I was like, we can't not just because so like in the first episode we see glimpses of episode 2. So you can't really it's like weird to say that you can't have one person who's kind of just decided to leave, but then at the same time you kind of have this thing where they like your main protagonist is trying to kill themselves at the same time. It's just weird.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to get this to work.
Yeah, it's tough, man. That's a real tough conundrum to be in.
And now even like from a writing perspective, I was like, oh, I think as well at the same time, I've just been so invested in practice patience that I could make minor changes, but I couldn't make that big of a change because it affected what would happen going forward. Like I couldn't do it in that kind of way. And I think for their sake that they would still want to keep as much integrity about the story as they could even after they've left. Yeah. So I thought about that a lot. Yeah. I know what you mean because I was finding it really, really interesting in terms of like certain shows when like, you know, if a person does leave, do they either get replaced or do they get written out sort of thing. But that's more of like not necessarily on the story's fault. It's either got to do with like a production issue.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, that's right, man. We'll leave it at that. It's difficult.
But
a good conversation. Yeah.
But you got anything new going on with you? Like,
yeah, man. Like recently, I've actually got a gig on a TV American TV series Monday.
ooh.
But it's only small, man. I don't even really know what's going to happen, but we'll see how it goes. That'll be fun. Yeah, just been doing a decent amount of auditions and stuff like that, but not converting a lot of them, if I'm fair. But all like, you know, TVC auditions and all that sort of stuff. So it's just, they're either on or you're not. You're like one of the other couple of hundred that isn't. So so that's fine. But look, I'm not
gonna lie, like that sort of stuff doesn't pay too bad.
Oh, it pays great, bro. TVCs pay the most in the game, man.
Yeah,
unless you're going to be a reoccurring role on a big speaking role on a show or a movie or whatever, man. You're not. TVCs is where it's at. That's your bread and butter, man.
Yeah.
So I'm, it's fine. It's great. And I've recently, they used to bore the hell out of me, if I'm honest. The auditions are pretty mundane, but I've been having a lot of fun with them lately. I've just been swinging, man. I've got to be honest. I've just taken chances with the characters I've chose to like do within it, and I've just been having fun, and I honestly couldn't care if I'm going to get them or not. I just want to have fun with what I'm doing.
I was fun, like something really, really interesting where like in terms of like auditions and stuff, but sometimes the pay can be quite variable. Like it'll be like, 1 day shoot like $5,000 or something like that. It's like, oh man, far out. That'd be fucking nice.
For 8 to 10 hours of work or whatever it is, that's a great payday, isn't it?
Like do you ever get much like modeling work?
Nah, I didn't even go for it, man. I don't have a modeling agent. I just have my normal agent.
Like, I mean, I love my agent. And she's really, really good. And like I've been like getting like these like one-off like modeling photo shoot type gigs.
Yeah.
Do I like them?
You looked really happy about that.
Well, because I mean, like, I find myself very average in looks, to be honest.
Mate,
like,
you're a good looking chap. I don't like modeling either, dude. Like, it's.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I literally say this.
I'm not a model at all. I'd never even consider myself a model. I have done gigs, but I'm not like. I did a runway gig once. I helped them out. It was like multicultural red carpet runway. One of the first couple of years I was doing it. For Rena. This Indian lady that runs a lot of these things, but she's doing really well with it actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so uncomfortable, dude. Like doing the catwalk, like runway model thing. I was just like, oh my God, this is probably the most uncomfortable thing I've ever done.
Like I think I've had like 2 or 3 shoots for like modeling sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like my agent's trying to make sure like she's like trying to get me to go into like showcast. I will.
Yeah.
If my agent's watching, I will.
Yeah, I've got showcast.
Because I mean, like, I don't mind the idea.
Well, it's one of the main acting ones anyway. Yeah. That's one of the main ones I get submitted for. What other ones are you on?
Just casting networks.
Yeah, casting network's the other main one that sort of took over. Yeah, I'm on Showcast, casting network, and 82, but 82 is only now for like extras work and stuff like that and doubles.
Well, what was that other one? There was like eCaster.
Yeah, eCaster is like a Queensland-based one. Let's not talk too much about that because that has some underlying effects of people that run those companies. But that was like a Queensland solid one, I think, for a while. When I first started in the game, it was kind of a must, but that's phased out as far as I know.
Yeah. No, I get like, because I mean, I would inevitably like to like phase out from the odd like extras gig. It kind of takes a lot for me to now say yes that I really, really want to.
Well, they're hard to get time off for, and they're like sporadic days, and then they're like can be blocks. Like, but it is fucking fun though sometimes. But I'm like, I do sort of like if there's the big film coming here and I get asked to do it, I just like the ones when they ask for me specifically for certain roles that I've been down, like for like Aquaman, like being a Russian submariner with a core group of cool guys, man. That was fucking amazing. That was fun. And the same with like probably I can't really mention that one right now, but one of the ones that was shooting here recently, I got asked to come down and do a gig, and that was cool for like, maybe a week all up or so. I got to do some cool stunts. Actually, I ended up getting asked to do some stunts on it and bust up my hand a bit. But hey, it was awesome, and I hope it makes it to the movies because it'd be so dope if it does. But yeah, I do little bits here and there, man. Like, and that's what I sort of said. Like, because I've got my main agent, but then I've got like the agent that does the extras work and stuff as well, and she's cool. And we had a good chat the other day, and I said like, I can't do all this stuff, but I'm like available if I get asked for something cool. I always get detective roles. Like that's what I'm doing on Monday. Is going to be a detective in the sun. But I love that shit. Like it's cool. It's a cool typecast that I like. Yeah, that I don't mind.
Well, I mean, I just did like 13 Lives. So
okay.
Couple months ago. And that was for like...
that would have been really hard to shoot, miserable sort of shoot, getting wet the whole time. You and that. I know you probably can't talk too much about it.
No, I mean, I
13 Lives, if anyone doesn't know, is the Ron Howard shot movie that's going to be coming out soon about the soccer kids that got trapped in the cave, right? Which is obviously on all world news everywhere, so people know about that.
I don't think that's necessarily news anymore, but but like I was only there for like 2 days, like so separated from each other, but like a couple of guys got like called back a lot. Yeah. So,
well, if you're available, you get called back, or they like the look of you. You're, in certain spots or whatever, or you play it right. It's like a little game sometimes, like on how well you behave on set. But I mean, and not that, but it's just like if you're friendly with certain people, casting or whatever, they'll always ask you back for that. Or if you're available and you're flexible, that's a main thing, which is hard to get, obviously, if you have full-time jobs.
No, I think like, I was back for like 2 days. One, I was like glad that I missed out on it because like one day it was like, oh, it's going to be a wet day. I'm like, oh, thank God I'm not for that one. Yeah. But like the set for it was like incredible. And there was probably like as big of number of extras as like Lord of the Rings. It was 300 people, something. Oh, allegedly.
Why would there be so many though? I thought it was only a few that were like trapped in the cave and all. And
no, well, yeah, but like,
but I know there's news reporters and all that. So I talked to a few people.
I was like, it was just incredible. Like,
it's crazy to see on that scale. Hey,
yeah, I was like, man, I don't know if I'd have like the creative idea to be able to create that level of a scale of a story, but I'm like, man, I'd definitely like to try.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'd be amazing. But I mean, that's the thing. Like when I go into, I'm like, fuck yeah, back on the studios or on this big set with this hierarchy director and like all this like amazing stars on there and stuff, and getting to see them work is the best part about it.
100%.
But you meet so many awesome people on there. You have that like bond and you're all creating something. It's fucking cool, man. And I love being on set and those extravagant like set designs and everything and costumes and stuff. It's so cool, man. I love that vibe, bro. And I'm like, everyone like can't wait to go back down there again. But yeah, what I find more and more after I've done them, and I appreciate them. I appreciate any opportunity like that, man. Yeah. It's awesome. I love it. But it's like after a few days, like when you're an actor, you know, and stuff, you want to be that guy. Like you want to be that one up in front of camera doing the goddamn thing rather than being in that background and having your little moments here and there that probably don't even make the movie anyway. But you're all part of it, you know, and you need those good extras as like set decoration design, you know, for the film to look and the authentic self, you know. But yeah, I can't help I can't even go to a concert. I don't even sing, man. I can't go to a concert without wanting to be the one up on that stage. What a goddamn attention seeker, right? But it's just
100%.
You just see it, you feel it, and you're being, you know, you're supposed to be up there. You know, you're supposed to be the one, like controlling this crowd, just being the one that revs everyone up. That's just in the moment and just owning it, bro. And it's just like such a fire inside of you, and it ignites every time I'm down there doing that sort of thing. But it's just, it makes it so hard. It's like that Jekyll and Hyde thing when you're in there doing it. You just like love being it, but you got to be this monster to be up there. And it's just like, you know, like, and it's just so cool, like getting called up for those. But then after a while, you're like, God damn it, I'm in the background again. Like after another like week or two, and you're like, but yeah, I don't know. How do you find it?
Reality's just hit.
Yeah, I mean, and it's such a thrill and a buzz to be on those sets, but. Yeah, I can't help but just want to be that person, you know, that one up there doing it. And I think that's what drives you and keeps getting you to go back and grinding in all these like little hours of the night doing these things, right?
Who was the last person you saw live?
As a gig?
As a gig, yeah.
Oh, good question. God damn. I don't know. Probably, I don't even know if it would be, but it could be Method Man and Redman.
Really?
At the ballroom.
So a bit of a hot minute. Wow.
That was a while ago. That was with my buddy Mike that I'm actually going to see tonight at this birthday party bash thing that I'm going to, which will be funny to reminisce on. I don't know if it was then. I couldn't even... Was Khalifa I saw there as well. So, and that was a hot second ago, you know. These are like, what? Like probably, man, you'd be lucky. I don't know, maybe 2017, 2018, some of those maybe.
Probably, yeah.
But I mean, when have live concerts and stuff been, they haven't really been, I haven't been to a concert in ages, man.
Wow.
I got to say that probably could have been it.
Yeah,
Could have been Method Man and Redman, I would say.
Who was the first one?
The first one?
Yeah, first one you ever went to.
Oh, man. When I was younger, probably in New Zealand, I probably saw something, but it would have been hierarchy of like acts. Geez, that's a tough one, dude. The people that I've seen, like of notable, you know, okay, so Method Man, Redman, was Khalifa. I've seen Drake.
Ooh, nice.
Kanye West, which is probably the best one by far. That was epic, bro.
Yeah.
Like the
I didn't get to see it, but
the Yeezy tour, man. And I had like nosebleed like right up the front, like
nice.
Things. And yeah, because my mate from New Zealand was supposed to come with me, and that's why I bought them like $330 tickets or something or whatever it was, and like got them, and he couldn't come over, so I ended up taking this chick from the gym. I just like I just gave her the tickets. I wanted someone to go with. She drove me and stuff, and I just got a bit tipsy and drunk and rolled
That's
out.
How Dan rolls. He's worth it, ladies.
It was awesome, bro. And I actually got a picture and I put it up. And then I think Kanye West actually retweeted it or something. Like the Courier Mail got hold of it somehow. He retweeted like the tweet, and like by the time people told me that they saw it, and by the time I got to do it, you know, they have like the E News like sort of stuff, and like and the it's like it gets replaced really quickly, the pages and stuff. And by the time I tried to look for it, it was gone like a couple of hours later. And I was like so pissed, but it's cool anyway. But that was dope, man. And it was like just when he was starting to be in the spotlight of getting a bit crazy with people, you know. But he's not, dude. He's just a misunderstood artist. I know he can be mad, but he's a fucking genius, bro.
To be honest,
I love Kanye, man.
He's misunderstood.
And not just his fucking music. I love him, man. He's awesome, bro. He's on Rogan. He's just a different dude, and he ticks a different way, and people just don't understand that. They don't understand a lot of us.
Different kind of
entrepreneur. And I won't put myself in the realm of Kanye, but I mean creative artists, bro. Like we just tick and we just go a different way, man. And it's hard to understand like some of the things we do, and we're impulsive, you know, and we just lash out and do shit, man. It's just because that's how we operate, you know. That's how you're able to go from such extreme lows to such extreme highs, man. And it's just that. And but another dope concert was the Rapture tour for Eminem that I saw with my boys back in New Zealand, man, which was crazy.
I could imagine.
Dude, Eminem, J. Cole. Which was when the first time I was actually really introduced to J. Cole. I slept on J. Cole, and ever since I heard him then, like I was just on him as like one of the J. Cole's amazing, bro.
He's quite a
lyricist.
Goat, bro.
He's one of the goats, man.
Yeah, like, he's quite a lyricist.
He's awesome, man. He's awesome. Like, I mean, go platinum like 3 albums in a row with no features, man. There you go. Like it's J. Cole. But No Role Models, if you ever get one, that's my favorite song of his.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
It's on 2014 Forest Hill Drive. Yeah.
Wait, he's got that song Middle Chart?
Yeah, that's in like one of his latest albums. Yeah. Nah, you got to go way back, man. He was hot. He was up top of the game for a long time there before like Drake came along, basically. Yeah. But like Action Bronson was there, but he got booed hard. Kendrick was supposed to be on that tour, but he got offered to perform at the All-Stars game. It was when he was getting real hot, and so he ditched that tour for that. And I think they were going to bring in like Odd Future and all those guys, and they couldn't get in the country or something. Like there was a few artists that they had that were really cool on that, but yeah, they were the ones that I really remember. I know I'm missing something there, but they're the ones that are like
nice.
Yeah, probably.
Like my first one was Craig David.
Pusha T was opening for Kanye because of good music. Yeah, that was cool. I'm just trying to remember what else, but yeah. So Craig David, bro, I used to love him back in the day, man. I
still love him, man.
He's still making music, man.
He's still good, man.
Yeah,
like he just dropped a new song.
Can you feel me in?
Oh, dude.
Oh, man. All those Walking Away, like all those songs, man. They were so
Rendezvous, such a vibe.
Yeah.
No, he dropped a new song. And like before, like he kind of got like big. There's like a type of music genre in the UK called UK garage. And it's sort of like this upbeat sort of like progressive electronic sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not bad. Like I remember like became kind of a thing in the early 2000s. There's a group called So Solid Crew. Mm-hmm. Do you remember, I don't know if you remember those.
No.
There's like
it does ring a bell slightly, but yeah.
And then there was like that all-girl group Mystique.
I do know them.
Yeah. Yeah, so like that's sort of where that sort of sound kind of originates. Yeah.
One night stand just in. I don't know why I know these lyrics say, man, anything 90s, 2000, dude. I know the lyrics say.
Yeah, you get some weird tastes for music growing up.
Yeah.
But
I think it started to curate the girls that I started to be attracted to. I think the music I used to listen to.
Oh, dude.
J-Lo, Destiny's Child and stuff like that. And then I think that kind of set the tone for what I was into.
I was into oh gosh, embarrassingly,
Can't forget the Spice Girls.
Yeah, can't forget the Spice Girls.
They ruled all.
Baby Spice.
Baby Spice. Oh, Sporty Spice, bro.
Sporty Spice was a close second.
Oh no! This has turned into a reminiscing podcast.
Oh, so good. But yeah, and then I think who was my next one? Oh no.
You can't say you didn't like Jenny from the Block.
Oh, I did like Jenny from the Block. It was all right. But like, no,
Ashanti. You man.
Oh, I really like that Happy song from her.
Yeah. She had some awesome jams.
Yeah, but like, you know, that label's kind of gone down the pits. But
yeah,
I think like Ja Rule started like creating again.
Yeah, probably, but good on him, I guess. But yeah, he had some cool songs. I didn't like him per se, but he did have some cool songs. So I'd say probably his better songs were with Ashanti.
Oh yeah,
and they were better with Ashanti. Yeah, and J-Lo.
Like Mesmerized.
But he was always trying to jump off the back of Park, you know, and they were trying to replace him, like, and him being, you know, all up and Menage.
Oh man, Fast and Furious. Have you watched Fast 9 yet?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I mean, it gets about as ridiculous as it gets, doesn't it? Yeah. When you got a Pontiac or whatever it is, Pinto or whatever, like flying through space, like to crash into a satellite. When someone told us, I'm like, yep.
Spoilers.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that's what would happen. Yeah. I mean, they lost me when they were jumping cars out through those towers in Abu Dhabi. I'm like, this is just getting crazy now.
It's like, it's like in hypersport.
Dude, the first two were the best. I mean, it's the same with most, you know, movie genres. And I mean, that was, that was all about it. Like, I was in The Boy Racer game, bro, early on, and Fast and Furious that cemented that. But the Fast and Furious and 2 Fast and Furious were amazing. I love those two. Tokyo Drift was cool, but it was like, you know, like it was cool. But the first two for me were the best.
I think so for me too. Like first and second
got crazy, and then they're still entertaining. I will say about that last one is that their storyline and their plot lines and with everything, it actually it linked up. It was actually all right. As crazy and extreme as it was in places, it actually matched up really well. And I thought the John Cena playing like the Vin Diesel's brother and all that, and like all the storyline, it was good. Like I actually liked that better than the last few. You know, have got real crazy.
Did you watch Hobson Shaw?
Yeah.
I didn't, because I was like, I think
the best part about that was the hot English chick. I got to say.
I haven't watched it yet.
Jason Statham's cool. I like those two together. Those two are funny together.
Yeah,
The Rock and him. Like I like that sort of that banter and stuff is cool. It wasn't bad, but it just gets too extreme and you lose me in that. Like when they were linking up like all these, when they go back to Samoa and they're like Usos and they're like trying to like do the thing and they're like linking all these cars up and like it just gets crazy, man. And they're flying off cliffs and like they're using NOS. It gets a little too much, man. I gotta say,
it sounds so getting a little bit more.
I don't want to hate on it, but it's just like it's getting a bit much, you know. Like it'd be so cool if they just went zoom and they just put it like they just did like a cool one again, you know, like just for some reason just decided not to go that big extravagant thing. I mean, when you're making like probably $1 billion in China. Who am I to fucking say that to them? But like it'd be so cool if they just like went somehow they made it go back into like that street racing thing or like, you know, just like they just like condensed it all back down. That would be so cool. But I think they're going to stop after the next one. They're going to do 10 and then just like can it, which is probably fair. But it would be cool if they did something like that with one of the spin-offs or something, or like, I mean, I'm just assuming that they're going to bring Vin Diesel's son's going to be something. I don't know. It was weird at the end of it. Spoiler alert. That they had his R34 GDR. Paul Walker's one. Just like what? Really? Like coming in. You know, knew it was going to come into frame or something was going to happen. But I'm like, what are they going to do with that? Like, I mean, because he's still alive in the actual movies, right? Like they reference him all the time, looking after the kids and this and that. And I'm just like, I don't know why they. Yeah, I mean, whatever. But I don't know what they're going to do with that. Like it was like someone was coming back and I'm like, well, it can't be one of his kids growing. I mean, I'm guessing, I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but they're going to like bring on one of his kids to like start another spin-off franchise or something.
Please don't.
I don't know. But I mean, who's driving his car at the same time then, eh? The only person that could come back now after, because they brought everyone back in the last couple of episodes, they even brought Han back to life and all that, which is crazy.
I like the idea that they brought Han back, to be honest, because like
it worked, but I'm like, how are they going to do this? But they somehow kind of made it work, I guess, in their ridiculousness.
But I really liked Han's story for this one. So I thought it was really interesting.
They didn't bring Gal back. Why didn't they bring Gal Gadot back? Come on.
Yeah,
they left her killed off.
She's too busy doing Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I know. She is a wondrous woman.
She is. She sure is. Oh, gosh.
But yeah, what I thought they might do is the only one they could bring back is the dude that was the mad scientist in the first one that drove the V-dub that ran away from Chan or whatever, the dude, because he was going to kill him or whatever. Yeah. Because I don't think he died. Didn't he just run away in the end, or did he die?
They got him. They got him.
Did he die? Oh, he did die in that, didn't he? Bring him back. Bring him back to life.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That was the only person I could see driving the GDR, but that's true. I think they did kill him off, eh?
Unless,
they did kill him, eh? Because he got shot outside the house when they did that. Yeah. Fuck, that's right. God damn it. My theory goes. That's how long ago I've forgotten about what happens in those films.
No, I love watching. Look, I tolerate the third. I tolerate Tokyo Drift. I felt that like the love interest in that one, she was not that great. She was cute, but she wasn't that
love interest. Like, of the main guy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think as well. I did think she was pretty hot.
Yeah. She's like half. She's half Australian.
Yeah.
And something else.
Because I remember her accent. I think she sort of almost had the Australian.
Yeah.
Oh, but she would have had to been like Filipino or Cuban or something. She was like Spanish or something. Like, she was darker.
I think she was probably half Filipino, half.
Yeah, it's my kind of thing. She was hot. I do. She wasn't a fantastic actor though, actress, whatever you want to call it. I don't think from memory, but yeah, I even barely forgot about that. But yeah, there was the love interest there. Yeah, because DK it was DK's girlfriend or whatever. Drift King. It's so lame when you think about it sometimes.
But like after that movie, it kind of really like ignited that whole other scene, and then like
the drifting, for sure, man.
Like,
and then that took
I'd like to give drifting a go at some point.
Dude, I did. I've crashed a few times too.
Oh, really?
I had some nice cars. I was talking about it with my mate the other night. Spun out. I had the RX-7 Series 6 Batman.
Nice.
What Vin Diesel has in Fast and the Furious. I had one of those. 13V twin turbo. I was only like 18 when I had it too, and I just didn't really know how to drive. I didn't really know how to drive it. Like I did, but I didn't, because they're so whippy. They've just got like a real short wheelbase. They're not made for drifting, man. Like I know people, Mad Mike and stuff, drifted them, but they're not. They're just so hard to hang out. Like you want a wider bodied car with that you can hang out for long periods of time and then control it. But when they're so whippy, like and you're like overcorrect real easy, and oh man, I fucking Yeah, I was talking to mate about it.
I know there's like where close at Archfield, there's sort of like a drift sort of like
yeah. No, they have drifts. Like QR like racetrack, they have a few of them that they do drifts around. Yeah, I've been out to them before. Yeah,
I've never been. I'm just like I'm like pretty, because it's like they call it as part of like performance driving or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like I really want to do that at some point. I don't know.
You're basically you're controlling an uncontrollable
car.
Yeah. You're out of control, but you're in control until you're not.
until you hit something.
Yeah. It's fun. It's good times. Good times.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think what else has been going on. Who would you want to see in live? I know we're just going to jump to topics again, but who would you want to see live if you could?
What's that? Sorry.
Who would you want to see live? If you could.
Live gig. Good question. I was just thinking then, have I seen Big Sean? Wouldn't mind. Big Sean's good. I'd like to see him. Logic, actually. I really like Logic.
Yeah, Logic's
I would like to see him. He was supposed to be down the coast performing at a concert a little while ago, but I don't think it ended up happening. It was before pandemic and stuff. He would be real cool.
He's good.
I've seen Eminem, so that would have been Dr. Dre, bro. Dr. Dre, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre is my favorite artist
even if he just like came back and dropped the bangers.
Oh man,
Like,
I'd be here for it. Chronic 2001,
Yeah, exactly.
I'd still be here for it. You know, man, that would be cool. Like they always said about doing the Up in Smoke tour. You know, like him. I think Nate Dogg, but obviously he passed. Like him, Snoop Dogg.
Eminem,
Dre, Snoop Dogg,
Exhibit.
Eminem, and Exhibit, like some of that West Coast rap, man. That would be where that would be. I started a while back. I started listening to that Exhibit. You know, like when he had all those hits, like on after the Alcoholics and stuff like that. Well, he was probably still with the Alcoholics, then, but yeah, that was pretty awesome when he had
Multiply by
all the X, you know, like and yeah, just all those front to back. That's dope album, man. Like I'd love to see that. Some of those West Coast legends, man. I'd really love to see in concert. It's pretty 100%. Hard to do now. I mean, they're obviously getting well on, but that would be amazing. Man, yeah, it's I'll tell you. Have you? Well, you know, this is a jumping topic a little bit of game, but the recent series that I've been watching that I'm hooked on far more than Squid Games, I'll tell you, is Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, yeah.
The American Saga. It is fantastic, bro. If you want to get a scored on hip hop and when it come out, look, I'll admit, I never really listened to them much when I was younger. Like I heard about them, but I'm more new, like Method Man and stuff, you know, after the fact. But that series is amazing. That's what I'm hooked on.
Is there
now.
only one season at the moment?
No. So it's on the second season now. I watched episode 9 last night.
Okay, dude. Now that you told me, because I watched the first season.
The
it was
first
good.
season's cool, but the second season is so far next level. You would not believe, dude. After the first 3 episodes, every episode is just like, I don't even know what they're going to do. How are they going to top that next? And it just does every single time. It's amazing. Them performing live, them in the studio recording what they do. It's so good, man. It's got me in. It's got great acting in it. Fantastic. Like just the way they've done it for like hip hop and the culture. It's awesome, man. I'm all the way in. Like it's so good. I couldn't, because they took ages because they tried to film the second season around the pandemic and stuff, and that's why it got pushed back so far. But now it's here. I'm just like, oh man, I don't want it to end. Like I look forward to it every week, like that it's coming out. It's amazing.
I'm stoked, man. Now that you told me,
dude,
about, like,
get into it, man.
I'm gonna get.
You cannot sleep on Wu-Tang Clan, the American Saga.
You don't. It's so good. I remember watching the first season.
It's a lot about the streets and stuff, and like how they come up and sort of how the characters go, but they all merge together to create. And that's what happens in season 2. Him trying to get them together after they like almost killed each other. Some of them, like to try and to create the band, man. Like, and it's just or the group. Sorry, it's so cool, man.
Dude, I'm stoked.
Get around it
because I don't really know a lot of hits from Wu-Tang Clan. The only one that I really know that kind of really hit the mainstream was Gravel Pit.
I don't like. That's how like I'm not like I don't know like I'll admit like I'm like now I've been going back and listening to songs because I kind of missed it, man. Like I wasn't like it just wasn't mainstream at the time for me when I was into hip hop. Like when I always have been since a certain point, but. I'll humbly admit that I didn't really, I knew they were like the fundamental one of the like backbone groups, but it just, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, like them and like Bone Thugs and Harmony were like, we're just like.
Well, I did hear because like my mates listen to some, like I listened to a few of the songs, but like basically, like they all had solo albums out like way back in the day when I was like teenager and stuff because they were a bit before my time, like Yeah, so that's fantastic, that stuff. But I'll tell you a movie that I watched last night, Dune. The new one that's just come out.
Is it with a J or a D?
No, Dune, like D-U-N-E.
Oh, D-U-N-E, okay.
With that, what's his name?
Is it on what platform?
I think it's out of the movies.
Oh, right, okay.
I got it off a friend.
Okay, I see.
It's got like Thanos in it and Oscar Isaac, that's been on the Star Wars stuff. It's got I forget the guy's name. He won an Oscar a year or two ago.
For which film?
I don't know. He played that. I think he played like the gay couple with him and Armie Hammer was in a film.
Nice.
Timothy, little white dude, skinny, tiny dude. He's in a lot of stuff. Like he's like one of the actors now. Jason Momoa was in it.
Okay.
And that chick, I don't really know her. I'm blanking on her name. I think she was in what's that series that's like it's to do a lot with suicide and stuff like that.
Oh, 13 Reasons.
Nah, not that one. The other one that came out a little bit after that. Is her name Xanthia or something? Like, I don't know.
Okay.
She's I think is it Jason Momoa's like, I don't know if it's his stepdaughter. Yeah, it's oh no, maybe it's not. Because what is it? Lenny Kravitz is like used to be with Jason Momoa's wife now, and they've I'm fucking blanking on her name, but whatever Kravitz, like she's playing Catwoman in the new Batman, which looks cool. I watched the trailer the other night. It looks good, man. I'll never replace Christian Bale. I'm Christian Bale all day. He'll always be the Batman for me, but I'm excited for this. It looks good.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
It's hard. Like it's such a hard thing to follow any of that. I mean, Ben Affleck got the brunt of everything. Which in the Justice League, in the new Justice League, the big cut, the Snyder cut, which I actually thought it redeemed Batman, but it was a lot better. The longer cut, it was way better. That movie, that film, and it explained the characters a lot better and just what it was. It was just amazing. But this Dune, bro, it was a video game back in the day. It was a PC game. I remember playing it when I was really young with my mate, and I didn't because I was like, it rings a bell, but I couldn't remember. I'm like, sure, it was a video game, and it was like it's like back in the day when those PC games are real old, and like for the youngies, they wouldn't even know what we're talking about. But it was like that bird's eye view game of like a flat perspective, and like you had the harvesters that were like getting all the harvesting all the good stuff out of these planets, and then you had like wars and big battle games like chess match sort of war games,
sort of like
with
World of Warcraft sort of stuff.
Kind of like that.
Starcraft.
But as a movie, dude, so good because there's so many ways you can go with the characters because it like they had storylines, but I don't really remember them. But it like you could because you had the basis of it, but you could really like as a developer, as a creator of that film, it would have been awesome to create the world within that thing, like because it's so good, man, and it's crazy, man. It's cool. It's really good. And like they've set it up they're going to do a bunch of movies, man. It's really like it's just they've set it all up in the first one. And then like, it's really cool, but they set it up for like 3/4 of the movie. And then it gets really interesting.
Yeah,
and then
nice.
It's like the next part is going to be where it comes on, you know, but it's really cool, man. Like I only watched it the once. I got to watch it a couple of times, but
I'm going to have to suss it out.
It looks good, man. It's real cool. Really cool.
Gosh, what did I watch last? So it was Fast 9.
Was that the first time you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We bought it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. But the Tomorrow War is a good one on that Chris Pratt. And that Australian actress that's on like the Bold and Beautiful now. The blonde chick that used to be on Chuck. She was like do you remember the TV series Chuck? Yeah, she's on that. It's good. The Tomorrow War. I've seen it like 6 or 7 times, man. It's great. It's really good watch. That one's a good one.
Cool, mother.
Yeah. Oh man, I've watched so many things.
You're talking this Dune thing up now. I'm like super excited about it.
Oh, dude, it's so good, man. I can't wait to watch it again, man. When I get a chance, it's like a good 2 hour and a half, maybe, or 2:20 or whatever it is these days with the big ones.
Cut was 3. So.
Yeah, that was a lot to sit through. I won't lie. But no, it's epic. That Dune one is real cool, man.
Yeah.
I've watched so many things. There was a cool one I watched like a couple of nights ago. Cop Shop. It's like Gerard Butler, Frank Grillo, and chick. I think she might be playing one of like the Swazi or the African chicks on Black Panther. She's like one of the mains on it. It's really good, eh? It's like a hitman kind of like grungy sort of film. They get locked up in a cop shop together and he's trying to kill him. Like it's nice. Pretty cool. It's a good watch, eh? Just come out recently, but yeah, for sure. I watch a bunch of stuff, man. I watch a lot. Connoisseur of the arts.
I know, I can tell now.
yeah, man. Yeah, don't get me started, man.
No, it's nice. It's nice.
So many things.
Yeah, man. Like, I think that was pretty much all I had to ask you, really, because I kind of really wanted to really pick your brain about like YouTube and stuff like that, because like it's been like trying to like find ways in terms of, I guess, for me as well, I guess, and I think you kind of resonate as well, as like being sort of accountable for your own level of creativity. Yeah. And I think it also...
Well, you have to. You can't rely on anyone else, man.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where like you've got to create to... I know it sounds fucking weird, but sometimes like doing the work to have a level of value for yourself so that if someone else sees you, then they'll want to like do something with you.
You got to be putting stuff out. You got to be doing things because if they see you keeping busy and doing things and keeping active, you're going to be more in their mind of like, oh, he gets after it, like maybe I've got him. I would like him to audition for this role or do this or whatever, or they want to collaborate or get you on the podcast or do something with you. But yeah, man, for me, I've recently been looking, I actually jumped on Star now, and actually we're having a look and replying for a few roles and stuff. There's not a lot on there, and I'll be honest, it hasn't been a lot of the times I've looked lately. So I'm back to going, I'm ready to create again. So I've got I'm trying to finish this goddamn book that I keep because I listen to too many podcasts. Save the Cat. It's a script writing book from Blake Snyder that Jeremy recommended to me, and I've started it a few times. Man, it's great, and I want to finish it all and before I start writing it because I just want to have better structure to what I'm trying to do with my characters and my film and stuff. Sure. But yeah, I've got a couple of short film ideas I've been percolating on through the week as well, and one that I've always wanted to do. I want to do a heist movie, which I'm going to do. And I think that'll be my first one. So I'm gonna create probably, I reckon, I would like to do 3 short films. I think that I've sort of got at the moment, and then look at doing something maybe a bit bigger. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna sort of concentrate amongst everything else that I'm trying to do at the moment. That's what I'm gonna get back, jump on the Mac and start writing again. And it's just even just having those thought process jump up in my head is just I get those creative juices going. And it's felt really good this week, man, when I've been doing that. So, got a bunch of life admin shit that I'm doing at the moment to get things moving along as well, but that I sort of got to prioritize certain things, but that's right up there. And that's I'm really looking forward to getting back into that and creating something, obviously producing it and doing it from the ground up. So it's holler at your boy if you want to get involved. But because you need people, man. It's great to collaborate with everyone, and you can't do it all yourself, and that's something that I got to keep telling myself because I want to. It's hard
I think you say I'd say do it for a time so that you give yourself an opportunity to learn. And I think that's kind of what's kind of been the thing for me is I've doing the whole YouTube thing is I'm using this opportunity to teach myself something new, but also it kind of makes you think about how I think you kind of it helps you to kind of set expectations for yourself, and you can bring that. It helps you to kind of be a lot more assertive in how you conduct yourself and all that sort of stuff, because once you kind of get to that point, I mean, between you and me, we're both Pisces people, so we're pretty flexible in terms of how we are, but at the same time, I think when you learn a new set of skills, it's you can be a lot more assertive.
Yeah. I mean, I've got better at editing. You said you were trying that yourself. Yeah, that's fantastic. I enjoy doing
editing
that.
All myself. Yeah. So whether it's been great or not, or learning the process. Yeah,
learning those new skills are invaluable, man.
So, whether people can you collaborate with down the track, I think for editing, I guess, because I was sort of in the editing room for practice patients, but I had no idea what was going on. I was I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. Now I've got a better idea of what to expect and what to see. Yeah. So being accountable in terms of editing and stuff, that's been a really good learning experience, because now I know what to kind of. Now nothing looks as foreign as it used to. So I don't, that there's that sort of that process for learning to getting to mastery or something. So there's always a 4-phase process.
Yeah.
So I think this is about to get weird. This is self-help shit. Sorry guys. So there's in terms of trying to gain a level of mastery or just becoming better at something, there's 4 phases of learning. So they go you're unconscious incompetent, so you don't know what you don't know, and then you become consciously incompetent. You know that you crap. you learn that, and then you become like conscious competent, where like you've become better, and then you've become unconscious competent. So whereas like where you can do things seamlessly, where like it's sort of like a level of flow, you call it. And I think like even when you get to that point, it's like you've learned these like new things that you can bring to the table. And like, you know, as you said, like, you know, collaborations is like one thing, but I think when you're trying to get something to get to another place, I think it's always good to kind of learn that process so that you know what to expect and all that sort of stuff. And if you are going to be writing like your own content, I think it's really, really good to have like a pretty like satisfactory level of knowledge in all areas and stuff. So especially I guess if you're writing and directing, or if you choose to write and direct, you've got a lot of say as well, like in the edit. But yeah, you can always like, it's always good to learn. I guess I think that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to direct a little more, I think, but also I'm conscious of taking on too much as well. As I want to be acting in the film, you know. 100%. So it's like, and you know, when I did Grind, like, you know, I was executive producing that, co-writing it with AJ and stuff, and directed some of the scenes, but I was like leading it as well. So there's a lot going on set, man, and you need to concentrate on what you're doing. But I'm going to direct, whether it's this next one or probably the second or third one that I want to do, you know, like I think I'll do the first one and get someone else on board, but it's just getting about the right people involved, you know, with the same vision. I've got a big vision for the things that I'm doing, sort of want it certain ways, but I'm like in there for artistic expression, you know, within people that are coming on, because you need to be, you know, and to adapt. So that'll be something that I'll look at, but I'm definitely going to direct like one of the few that I'll do next. Yeah, but as I say, I think I would like to play a more heavy acting role, and then one of them I'll probably maybe just have a little bit part in, you know, and like direct more than other people. And another one I sort of thought up the other day that I think will be really good. I want to get a bunch of stunties involved and actually get them like sort of acting a little bit, but it was like action sort of stunt heavy per se. But post-apocalyptic sort of world that I've got going on that I love. So that genre.
Pumped.
So yeah.
I'm excited to see this shit. So.
Yeah, man. Let's get it going. But no, I love what you're doing, bro. Yeah, I think you're going about it the right way. Like we've spoken about, we all have these setbacks and things that are going on in life, and got to keep pushing through it, man. That's and do it for the love of it, and do it while you're doing it. But, you know, just creating content and putting yourself out there and just constantly doing that, man. I respect it, you know, because it's not 100%. Easy to do. It's tough. It's tough out there, man. But it's better than waiting for things to come to you. You got to go at life, you know.
I think you and I mentioned that the last time we had a talk as well. I was like, these opportunities, they're not going to like come for you, or they're not going to be looking for you. You got to find ways to do it so that you can get those opportunies, so that people will give it to you. So
that's it, man. No, that's it. Well, thanks for coming on, brother.
Dude, I had a fucking blast.
Nah, it's been great to catch up. It's always good. It's always good, man.
I like it how we always blend stuff with like self-help, movies, being creative.
Yeah.
Just shooting the shit. You know, just live. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really, really agree with you as well. And I think JR said as well that like you really are a good listener. So I'm like, it's something for me to kind of take notice of, especially when eventually I start my podcast as well. My platform will be a little bit different to yours. So but I'm excited now that I've gotten like another bit of a feel for this.
Yeah.
I'm excited, dude.
Oh, they're fun to do, man. And like you just got to do it. You know, the more you do, the better you get at the whole listening thing and everything as well, and knowing the moments to jump in and like speak, or whether you let people work through what they're trying to talk about and things like that as well. And I mean, I've still jumped up when I've re-listened to something like, God damn, man, shut up. Like, let them talk, you know, but you're always going to get a chance to chat. And that's why the long form ones are better, because you do have that expression, that conversation, that actual to and fro, you know, rather than try to jump down each other's throat and have the limelight, 100%. You know, which is not ideal for a podcast, but no, that's it. And you learn it with time, and you get better with time, man. And like, and that's it, you know, like with anything, but I look forward to it, bro. I hope you do it. And
I will.
look forward to seeing what happens with practice patience and everything else you're doing, man. And
likewise,
we'll do this again, and we'll catch up outside of the podcast. Let's endeavour to get that one done.
We will get it done.
Yeah, sweet.
But if you guys like this content, make sure you subscribe to Dan Good's channel, Going Deep with Dan Good. I've had a really good time, and hope to see you guys in another video.
That's right. Thanks, man. Thanks for that plug, brother. Appreciate it. Righto, man. That's us. We're out.
Thank you.